go. This is a quote from the National Research Council. At an early age, all children have the capacity and the propensity to observe, discover, explore the world around them. And I think we know this is very universal from our infant rooms through our preschool rooms, and I would hope for our kids when they leave us and move on to their next classroom spaces that we accept this as truth about them. I really love this quote because I was just talking, I have some friends in town this weekend with their young children, and we were talking about what it will even look like for them. They're 4, in the future, what kinds of jobs will they have, and this just says we can't imagine what the world will look like in 20 years, but we believe that we can enable our students to solve the problems of tomorrow by enabling them to think differently, retain their curiosity, and giving them permission to be creative. So let's chat about it. We'll just do a call out right now. Anything that you remember from science education from your childhood, or if you are interested in science or creative design, who or what got you interested, or if you're not, what makes you avoid those subjects, either as a student yourself or now doing those kinds of activities with your students, or where and when do children explore these ideas in the classroom? Chris?
Well, I remember most clearly from my childhood, Bill Nye. That was first run when I was in kindergarten, first grade, around that time, and he had sort of a lot of positive energy. He explained things very, very simply and in a way that made it easy to understand. And yeah, that's my earliest.
Bill Nye was your hook.
Yes.
All right. Science guy, Erin.
I was really into the Magic School Bus.
Yes.
I still actively remember large parts of different episodes of Magic School Bus based on the science and what was behind it and how it worked. So that worked well for me.
Susie?
I spent a lot of time outside and not necessarily with any particular direction, but given time just to explore freely outside.
I'm gonna kind of work around. Pam?
I remember that if you pour vinegar on baking soda, volcano.
So you like those results-oriented experiments, Marie?
I'm gonna go opposite actually. Science and math in general always made me really nervous. And my younger sister, 5 years younger, has gone into the sciences. So once we were school aged, hearing about how good Margaret was and all the science, how good Margaret was and everything, made me not want to do it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Sharon?
I went to 9 schools in 12 years, and so the younger part of that, science was more of a textbook thing where you would read it and then take a test. Older, in my older years, it became I just had this mind block that it was just too hard. Science became too hard.
Anybody else have that experience in their younger years of it just being sort of rote memorization and yeah, those of us in the room, we're gonna date ourselves with that.
Yeah,
being
date
our
ourselves.
science experience. Yeah, Erin.
I had the experience where I didn't feel like I was good at art because I didn't feel like I was creative in the same ways that everybody else was. So I felt like I didn't want to pursue that or get into it more. And even now as an adult, it still makes me anxious.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and we're gonna talk about how much the idea of creativity and design is also connected to science and the kind of science curriculum. And so I think it's important to remember, and Marie mentioned math, all of those disciplines are really interrelated. And so I remember being someone who thought I was bad at math and had really bad math education, but I was really good at science because I was a good student. I could memorize and regurgitate information. So I think that's, our personal experiences also play a lot into it. I'll take one more. Becca.
Creative experiments I really liked. In high school I hated chemistry, but we made ice cream. And it got everyone involved, and you actually the hands-on can really help you understand the big picture. And then it's not just rote memorization. It's oh right, when we added the ice, the salt to the ice, it made it extremely cold.
Yeah.
And it reinforces those concepts.
Yep, that hands-on piece is so important. I think one of the things that we know about young children is that they are natural problem solvers. If you've ever been in Shauna's office and you see that little picture that she has on her wall about the infant doing the scientific method, you know, about sort of reaching out and touching something or putting it in the mouth. If you haven't seen it, you should look at it. But so we know from a very young age, young children are trying to figure out the world. They are trying to solve problems. So, you know, they're observant, they're questioning, you know, why? They're curious. They come to us with limited bias and fears. Some of the fears get in the way of their explorations, but usually their bias does not. A 2-year-old is never going to say to you, "I'm not good at science," right? I mean, they haven't internalized any messages about themselves as being bad or good at a particular subject, and they're pretty open-minded. They really, if you as an educator sort of present a problem to them in a way that encourages their curiosity, that invites them to engage in the materials, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna come and want to do that with you. They're not gonna have sort of some ideas that are gonna get in the way. And so there's a real continuum here, right? Like exploratory play is the very beginning of children beginning to understand how to be a problem solver, to understand scientific exploration and creative design. So kids manipulate materials, they mouth them, they pour them, they scoop, they mix, they construct, they break, they fix. This is all the foundations of science learning from birth to 3. And current research shows that young children from 3 to 6 really have the capacity for conceptual learning. They have the ability to really practice these reasoning skills. So we're giving them the foundation from 0 to 3, and we're asking more of them in 3 to 6, but we're not asking too much because we know that they have the capacity to do this. If they have these experiences by the age of 7, then research also shows they're 70% more likely to take upper level science classes. So the work that we are doing is really important to how children begin to think of themselves as being capable of engaging with these big topics. All right, so our topics today, we're going to talk about how young children develop science skills and knowledge. We're going to talk about creative design and have some creative design experience. What the role is of the early childhood teacher, sort of science concepts and environments, and then sort of think about a little bit about where we want to go from here. All right, so how young children develop science skills and knowledge. This goes back to Shauna's little poster in her office too. So what happens when children have questions? They really want to answer them. So they come to you with their ideas, they hypothesize about what the answer could be. They predict what might happen. They observe what is happening. They collect data and they make conclusions. Like that is the scientific method. And you do this with kids all day, every day. And some of it is never related to a topic you would traditionally think about as being science, right? You do it in their interpersonal relationships. You do it when they're trying to figure out how they're going to get more. We're going to keep going, Emily. I'm sorry. So these experiences that they are having in the classroom in many different realms of development are really reinforcing this sort of scientific method.